That's 6 feet.
6 feet. It's a 6-foot beehive.
I had no idea what I was walking into when I was hired to remove honeybees that showed up in John's garage. John told me bees had only been there a short time, and he only noticed them because some trees had blown over during a recent storm. Using my thermal camera is always a challenge when it's hot outside, but I was able to pick up a reading, and it showed the colony was quite large. I laid down drop cloth because I always try to keep a clean workspace. Honey is incredibly messy, especially in this kind of humidity. It seeps, it spreads everywhere, and it sticks to everything. With that done, I grabbed a marker and started mapping out where I'd cut. Florida has a lot of these older Spanish-style homes that are sometimes hard to figure out how they are structured. I wanted to take a look at their entranceway to see if I could gauge the size of this colony. Their flight path wasn't that impressive. It looked like an average-sized colony was living inside of the wall, and I had no idea that I was about to unveil a massive defensive bee colony that was living here for years. My oscillating tool cut through the drywall like butter, but it wasn't popping through like I expected. It felt like I was hitting something solid on the other side. I wasn't prepared for the way this wall was structured. The homeowner told me it was wood frame, so I was sure there was no cinder block. In order to get through the wall, I had to use 2 different kinds of saws. I had to use my oscillating saw and my circular saw. As soon as I removed the drywall, there was plywood underneath. At one point, all the walls were just plywood over the studs. It was hard to locate the studs, so my cutting wasn't as precise as I would normally like it. The homeowner stood off in the distance, watching curiously.
That sounds like a lot of them.
Oh yeah. So we're not all the way through. That's thick. Ooh, I'm gonna put a veil on. Yeah, I would say just stand back.
I'm gonna back up.
I think
Yeah.
they're gonna come blowing out.
I'll run the other direction.
Yeah.
You guys are the professionals. If you're putting it on.
Usually, if bees are going to be defensive, I'll know right away when I start messing with their opening. A more aggressive colony is louder, flies with more intention, and usually comes straight for your face. The second the wall cracked open, honey started dripping down. I know you'll be curious why I only wore a jacket. It was around 100 degrees that day, and even defensive honeybees usually don't go for your legs. They always go for your face and your hands. But when the wall popped open, these bees were extremely defensive. You can hear Derek having quite the giggle because he realizes how large this colony is. I took about 4 to 5 stings on my thighs and even up my shorts. I knew I was in for it, so I quickly left the scene to get fully suited up. There was no way I could relocate this colony while they're trying to kill me. Once we opened up the top section, we realized this colony stretched from floor to ceiling. Before we cut any further, I wanted to salvage the honeycomb for the homeowner before it got dusty with the drywall. The piece you see Derek putting into the bag probably weighed around 20 pounds.
God, listen. The length of my whole body. Longer. A 6-foot beehive. Incredible.
That's 6 feet.
6 feet. It's a 6-foot beehive. Woo! Big Daddy.
Seeing a colony this size sends me over the moon. You know you're in the right field when your adrenaline kicks in and the excitement you feel is uncontrollable. I almost get into a high-like state removing large colonies of bees. It's thrilling to me. The comb was old and very dark. If I had to guess, this colony was well over a year old. Because this was an older home, there were a lot of cracks and crevices where the queen could have ran, and she did. It's always so disappointing when you don't find the queen. The job just feels undone. And this was such a beautiful colony, I was really excited to see what the queen looked like. We went ahead and dumped all of the bees into the bee box on the outside. We suspended the box right near their entrance and hoped that the queen would magically walk out of the wall and join all of her daughters. To our surprise, a couple of nights later when we picked up the bees, the queen was inside. If I had to guess, I would say this colony had around 80,000 bees inside and around 50 pounds of honey. The homeowner walked away with about 20 pounds of honey and a bee-free wall. Surprisingly, this was not the most aggressive colony I have ever worked with. Once we opened up the wall and vacuumed, the bees settled down. But because of their aggressive behavior, we did go ahead and requeen this colony. Unfortunately, our phones overheated at the end of this video. All we have left is us vacuuming up the bees and cleaning up. Thanks for watching.